right, welcome back to Business AM. This is Metropole Television, your 24/7 business channel within Eastern Central Africa. Now, everybody is within the COVID-19 pandemic, and every business and individual is thinking about how to continue with business without losing any client within this COVID-19 pandemic, which poses the biggest question. Number one, what do your customers want to hear? How do they want to hear you say it? And from who do they want this communication to come from? Which you think is not important until you realize that most businesses are losing their clientele just because they have not really thought about how to communicate within crises that happen within an economy, which is also very important because it is in little times within our economy we do get crises that affect our businesses. Therefore, this morning, to tell you who should speak, how you should speak it, what you should say this morning, we are humbled to be joined by Valerie Mumia. She is the CEO and head of PR at Uncharted PR. Valerie, good morning.
Good morning, Simba. How are you?
I'm all right. Managing, isn't it?
Kabisa.
Karibu sana to Metropole TV.
Thank you.
So I just want us to start from a basic point like this. Why is it very important that now, more than ever, organizations and businesses start to think about what sort of communication they should be communicating and how they should be communicating?
Right. So for majority of companies right now, ideally on a normal day, they'll go about their businesses and communicate and advertise as usual.
Yes.
With the bottom line in mind.
Yes.
But right now, people are really not looking to buy your product. More or less, they're looking to look at you and feel the company brand as a person.
Yes.
They want to see it sensitive. They want to see how much you care. They want to see how much responsible you are, how much responsive you are to your employees, to your customers. So now more than ever, companies have to be really careful how they communicate to their customers and their clientele.
Yes.
Because if you come off as you still more concerned about the money over the human life, really you're going to be judged harshly by the end this is done. Consumers, clients, and the entire publics surrounding you,
Yes.
they'll really judge you and they'll know we are not to trust you because for you it's about money, it's not about people.
Pretty much.
And that's it for a business.
Yes.
Because the moment consumers say, for you it's all about money, you don't care about me, then why should I give you my money anyway? Let me take it to somebody who actually cares. In an event that COVID-19 is hitting everyone so hard, the one company that stood out and was responsive and was having information that could actually help people, not necessarily regarding to their money.
Yes.
That is the company that at the end of this, they'll come out standing tall because people will eventually move to them. They're like, these guys were there for us when things were hard.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's talk about how, therefore, and I want us to attack it from a very basic point, like what should we communicating to our clients now? Let's take an example of a small business, Valerie, and then we've been growing our clientele, they trust us, they talk to us, they know a couple of people in a company. So what should we be talking to them about right now?
All right, actually, that's a great point because I think for most, and you said small businesses,
Yes.
which is a good point,
Yes.
most of them have rebatted back. They have just hibernated. Most of them are not communicating at this point, which it's not a right path to go to. For me right now, I would say you should continue communicating as usual, but now the messaging should no longer be about your business, what you are selling and what you're doing, but should be toned back to actually now fit in with the situation at hand. So you see companies like Safaricom, they're coming out and toning down on their own topics and now moving into more informative topics. Wash your hands, stay at home. And I see a good thing they're doing up there. It tells you stay at home.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
those are the type of communication that should be going out. Even for small businesses, your digital communication, let it move on as it usually does. So what we're changing, it is the messaging. Communicate to people what they should do. Right now, there's a lot of miscommunication. So help people understand these messages. Decipher them, small messages, stay at home. thank you.
Yes.
That's it. Right now, guys are saying lockdown, lockdown, lockdown. Yet in reality, there's no lockdown. So help people understand these small things that are being misinterpreted everywhere, and they'll thank you for it. Those are the kind of messages that should be going on right now. You see, like companies like Guinness, right now they're relooking the entire communication strategy because you had set it out in a particular way that you are dealing with your brand, your brand, your brand. But now we have to change and deal with the people. So now they're switching into a more
communication strategies, and if they're about bringing people together, then it should be about how we make people don't come together, which is one of those technical points that we have to look at as well. Okay, now everybody does understand therefore exactly what they need to be doing right now, like be part and parcel of the process now. Can you educate people about COVID-19? Can you be within the COVID-19 pandemic? Now, who should therefore be speaking about these messages? When we're talking about businesses and clientele, when you want to maintain that brand, when you want to maintain that image, who should we see speak? And I want to point you out to exactly what the CS Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe is doing. We've seen a lot of people within the ministry that we didn't know that will come to the limelight. Is that what businesses should be doing right now, or have one spokesperson just to continue talking to people about this?
All right, great. I think with the issue of the CS, I think you can see whenever there is a magnitude, whenever he's announcing 22 more cases, you'll see him there. Yes. But whenever there is 3 more cases, you'll see they'll bring the CAS all. So I think that's going with the hierarchy, and I think with the issue, there are so many things he's dealing with at the moment. So I think they're also trying to offload some of the things on his side. But that notwithstanding, government, for as long as it's coming from the ministry, we know he's there, and he's constantly there. So people are not feeling like he's not there. Yes. And you see, the president is also coming in from time to time, and now just the same translates to a company. However, now in an organization, the same way Kenyans want to see Uhuru, they want to see our president on the screen every time. That is the authoritative person. That is the person they want to hear from. The credible voice that they know if he says it, it's going to happen. So now for a company, for the big corporates, most of them have been attached to the CEO. I would like to use the example of Bob, may his soul rest in peace. Bob was so attached to Safaricom, in that in case of anything, people would feel comfortable with him speaking for us, telling us right now we can be together apart, we should stay at home, we should sanitize, we should watch for social distance, coming from the CEO. Most time, because that is the authority that is now everyone is looking at for direction, including the employees. So now for the smaller businesses, sometimes they will have a designated speaker, maybe the communications person in charge. Yes. Or sometimes maybe the CEO, the founder, sometimes they will step in. But on a general basis, right now the person who should be speaking is the authority. The authority in that people want to know when he says it, it's going to happen. But you see now in a hierarchy, if you bring in your deputy to speak, some people will wonder, but where is the CEO? We trust more the authority. When he says it's going to happen. When he comes and tells us, guys, be calm, no one is losing their job, giving the situations as it goes, they tend to trust more. Because right now also, you have to understand that companies are also trying to keep their employees calm and stable, so as they can help their clientele. Yes. Because when they're all over the place with no voice to trust, with no one in authority speaking to them, it's a problem. Everyone is all about with all sorts of rumors going about. So just to answer your question in a simple terms, the person to be communicating right now is the authority and the most credible voice within your business. Yes. Yes, and that is somebody you can always be point out, like I'm so sure here at Metropole, it's so easy. When I ask you, Simba, who do you trust more? You already know. Yes. Yeah, that is the person right now who should be at the forefront communicating each and every step. Yeah. Pretty much, isn't it therefore? Now, businesses, and I want to talk to the smaller businesses because they're the ones who are really trying to understand exactly what they should be doing now. They found themselves in a crisis, in a pandemic that they did not anticipate. And then all of a sudden, now we have to get representatives to speak to us. What are we going to do? Is it important now more than ever, therefore, for these businesses to start training their professionals on communicating with within this pandemic? Simba, every time I shall tell my clients, media training and spokespeople training, it should not be looked at as a cost factor. Companies should always, no matter how small you are, because people say, I just have 10 employees, I'm a small size. I keep on telling my clients, it's important every time you have at least 1 or 2 people or 4 at maximum,
yes,
properly trained, because crisis is part of our lives and you do not know when it will hit. So this instance, the training that if a company has been operating without spokespeople who are media trained, the day that, when did we, from the first day, yes, when we had our first case.
It was actually 13th of March.
13th of March, yes. That is the first day.
Yes.
We should have, this, I think in this case you just have to pick the CEO, because that is the first one in line of fire. That is the first one, to be trained as quick as possible on how to talk with the media, how to articulate and defend the company properly,
yes,
articulate the company's position, learn how to be very responsive and listening to the employees and your clientele. That is the first thing that should have been done on 13th of March.
Yes.
By close of business, the CEO and at least his or her 2 juniors, they should have been trained.
Yes.
But for majority of companies, I'm happy that Kenyan companies are growing to learn to have communication and PR by their side as they move. So for majority of the corporates, that would not have been a problem, because they're already initially trained for this type of scenario. What we're only now doing is we are going back and doing a bit more research on the terms, because yes, COVID-19 has come in so many terms that are being used. So you go back.
Some of them are very confusing, yes, now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So right now we are not necessarily training, because for most of us savvy communicators, crisis is part of our lives. So we've been trained all along. So right now we're just going back to do more research on the terminologies in relation to our company, in relation to our publics and our clientele.
Yes. Just before we move away from this aspect, therefore, of communicating, how long will it take now for, I've got a business today and I want to tell my employees even how to sell and communicate their sales strategy within this COVID-19 pandemic. How long will it take for me to make them ready?
Wow, ideally it takes about a rigorous training,
yes,
of let me say 2 full working days,
yes,
of rigorous training.
Let's get into training.
Yes.
Speak within a crisis.
Yes.
What should not say, what should never say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Two full days rigorous training. You're taking 15 minutes break and coming back. We do the simulations and whatnot.
Yes.
2 full days business of training. If you have savvy people, I'm sure they should be fine from there.
Yes.
But right now, I don't think it's the right time to train people, because training people under duress, you tend to make mistakes here and there.
Because you want it to be hustled.
Yes.
And so
you're hustling.
Yes. Just get them ready now. You know, we want to sell, we want to communicate to our clients now when this pandemic is still going on. Okay. Paint for me now for the picture. Remember, we're talking about brands now. It's when now brand strategy is one of the biggest areas that everybody really needs to look into. So tell me a brand that is going to come out of this pandemic looking positive, and I want you to paint for me the picture, the mistakes that a brand is going to do now, and then after this pandemic, guys will be looking at it and be like, wow, if you can avoid them, just avoid them.
So I'll start with the mistakes. Right now, there's only one simple mistake you can make, and you'll be hitting nails in your coffin slowly. By the time we are done, you'll be on the floor. That is acting business as normal. Simple as that. Right now, for any business, for any organization, for any public personality who is going on business as normal, you're on your way to doom.
Now everybody's looking at you, isn't it?
Yes, because
like, what you gonna do?
Yes.
Because I'm your client.
Yes.
I'm affected.
Yes.
So what are you going to do to me?
Yes.
So when you assume business normal,
no,
that's how you start losing, isn't it?
You're losing it, yeah. So right now, Apple is not looking to sell the iPhones to you.
Yes.
Not really. They're telling you, sanitize the phone,
telling you to sanitize the phone,
don't touch it and touch your face. That is how they get away. But if you go on with your business as normal,
like we got a new
pushing
brand
it, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Yeah. First of all, I don't have that money to spend on you. Second, even when I'm in the house depressed, I actually need that voice of yours to help. So
I see.
it's basically right now we're looking to brands to behave like a person.
Yes.
How do you behave to, how are you behaving towards me right now? Simple. So if you go on with business as normal, you're on a way out. After this pandemic, you'll be judged so harshly, and you'll have to work extra hard to earn the trust of your clientele after this.
Are you therefore saying that it's now that brands need to go back and say, what can we do to relieve the pain of our clients?
Yes.
Can we get a place we can communicate a discount?
Yes.
Can we get a place we can communicate free service, free consultation or something like that? Like that's exactly what should be banking on right now as a brand.
Yes, you have the Louis Vuittons moving away from expensive clothes to making masks. You have people moving away from making shoes to making, you have companies, Ford moving away from cars to making ventilators.
I see that
That is what people are looking at right now. Is Ford continues with selling their cars, you're not going to be selling for too long after this.
I see that.
And for a company, painting a picture for a company that's doing, I'll use our local scenarios that everyone understands. That would be Safaricom.
Yes.
There's something I like, the message they're putting, I don't know if you have it, right there on top. They tell you stay at home.
Yeah, I've seen it actually. I was looking at it yesterday, and then the message kept on appearing is stay at home, stay at home. Yes.
That's perfect. They're going ahead the bonga points. Now you can send your mom the bonga points. And
you can actually use your bonga points to use them and buy them something
the staples, the unga, the maziwa, the staples. Yeah, the movie, the M-Pesa limits. The fact that every day they're coming up with something to work for you at this time. It necessarily is not so nice on their side because they are spending. But it's working for you.
But it actually shows that their focus right now
it shows their
is
focus
on
you and trying to help you get through this the best way how.
Yes. All right, now. That said, therefore, can these strategies also that we're talking about right now, because every time when we talk about communication strategies, when we talk about approaching a pandemic or a crisis, we tend to think about bigger companies. That's why you tend to look at banks, at Safaricoms of the nowadays economy. Is it possible to also adopt this for a smaller business?
Yes. Perfectly. Sometimes I don't know why people tend to think brand complications and brand strategies are meant for big corporates. No, you have to understand these corporates, they started this brand growing up. It is these brand strategies that have grown them. And if you continue sticking, you say, I'm small. So you want to hide in there and do your things, business as normal. You want to continue advertising the same messages without changing them because you think you're too small to be noticed. Trust me, it's going to be noticed and you want to grow as much as you want to. So these small businesses, it's similarly important. They pick the same strategies, just shrink them to your size. Since you don't have that budget to shrink them to your size. And it's simple things. Simba, we are not talking about you go at, somebody will say, I'm an SME, how do I even now start manufacturing masks for people? We are not talking about that. Simple things. I'm seeing Robert Alai keep on posting things people have sent to him. My employer just fired all of us with no explanation. They didn't pay us anything. They didn't even pay us much salary. Simple things like those, because those are small companies they're talking about. Simple things. Being responsive to your employees because they're your first line of ambassadors. So when you're not even acting to them because you're an SME, you feel like, no one will notice. It's first of all wrong. Simple things. Care, show concern for them, sanitize the premises, secure them for them. Simple things. Communicate as we move on. Simple things.
And those are the ones that are going to make you stand out as a
brand. Those are the ones that are going to make you stand out. These employees, at the end of the day, as small as you are, they'll refuse to leave you to go to a bigger company because they're like, this guy cares about me.
They actually do care
this
about us
brand
right
cares
now.
about people. Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I just want to go to the last point of our conversation this morning. Sadly, though. All right. Now, if you look at exactly the research that InfoTrack just released the other day, it shows that 75% of Kenyans are way worried about the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. 35% of us are saying, well, if you lock the economy, we are dead. And 68% are saying, well, lock it down. But the question therefore is, since we're talking about a communication strategy, because that exactly what's going on right now, even that fear, even these lockdown numbers, even the ones that are saying don't lock down the economy, is pretty much how we are trusting the information that we're getting from the government. Walk around right now, there was a directive yesterday that people have to walk around with masks. I've seen so many of them without masks right now. So Is there something that the government can do on a communication level, therefore, to start making the Kenyan citizens now, more than ever, start trusting them? Najua tumekuwa tukisema ni government.
The government.
You know? So how can we change that narrative? Yes.
You know, first of all, for the Kenyan government, wow, I would gladly take a job to work to give them a strategy, but it's an uphill climb because first of all, there's not a problem. They said yesterday, Kenyans don't trust the Jubilee government through and through, and it's not because they're just talking, because there's evidence. They have seen how public money is being squandered left, right, center. No one is doing anything.
Even the president is acknowledging that.
Yes, and here he does it. It's like he's also saying from this side. So he's also wondering, sasa tufanye aje, you know?
You guys are stealing the money.
Yes, sasa tufanye aje, you know?
Yeah.
And you see, that's where the problem is coming in from. Anyone below that line of middle class, I don't know how I'll put it, because the middle class in Africa is a bit very interesting to define it.
Yes.
They feel like, no, we can't trust these people to take care of us. My life is on me. I can't trust these people to do anything for me. Even if they say they do it, they won't. I'll die in the house. So right now, the only thing that the Kenyan government has to at least get Kenyans to their side, especially the lower income areas, is to try and act and walk the talk. When they say we are doing this, please just go ahead and do it. Roll it out perfectly with a strategy, clean. And like now, when you tell people, when you come in, you're going to mandatory quarantine, and then you get there, people say they've been at the airport for over 15 hours, there's no one communicating, the people around there, the officials there are rude. See, that's already a problem.
Yes.
So the only way right now for them to get the people on their side, especially the lower income areas, try to walk the talk.
Pretty much.
Do as you say. With time, by the time we're on next week, people will be like, okay, I think they're trying. We are all in a tight situation. We can see they're trying. It's
But
like,
they are trying as well.
You can see the other day I read something interesting. People were saying where the Kenyan billionaires, where the rich guys, and somebody actually said, a very influential person, he said, I've spoken to some of them, and they've said they don't trust these people to handle the money given to them. So it's simple.
Yes.
Try to walk the talk.
That's pretty much
As you said, try do it. Let Kenyans see you working towards it. Even if it's not working 100% perfectly, let them see you trying to work. Let it just work. Even 80%, they'll appreciate it.
Then after that, they'll appreciate it.
They'll appreciate it and listen to you even more. Because the guys, the lower income areas, it's not that they don't care about their lives. They do. We all do care about our lives. But at the end of the day, you're like, I can't trust this people to feed my kids. As a father, as a mother, once in the house, kids looking at me, and I say the government has said, and it's not doing anything, you know. So let them just try walk the talk.
Walk the talk.
Yes.
And that's the only strategy
That's
they
the
need
only
to employ
strategy
now.
for now. And then after this, we can now go back to those other words and try to, you know,
Fantastic.
cushion here and there.
Wow. Unfortunately, so we're coming to the end of this conversation this morning.
I know.
All right, but here's the thing though. You want to talk to Valerie, you can actually do that. Uncharted PR, she is the CEO and head of public relations. So those lessons, and she's telling you that you should apply right now as a business, you can get them one-on-one. Talk to us, 20, that is 20146, and we can actually link you to her in a direct way, or at Metropole TVKE across all our social media platforms. Good thing about YouTube right now is that you can actually go there and take Valerie back to when she came into the studio. I know you're in the house, you want to listen to her lessons, do that, and then after that we can get talking after that. Remember, once you're there, that subscription and a comment is what we rely on as Metropole TV. Thank you very much for being part and parcel of Business AM. That is a Tuesday edition. I'll see you at 11, 10, and 12 for Metropole News. Good morning.